Finish him. Or her?
Welcome. And today we'll dive into this great ProRevenge story and their reactions. Coming up, we have neighbors steal our dog, we take their kids. I just know you're gonna love this story, so this should be a fun session. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. I do respond to every single one, so don't be shy. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some deep-seated revenge. Philip Hamilton 19 posted. Neighbors steal our dog, we take their kids. This happened when I was around 12-13, so the details might be a little skewed. For most of my childhood, the house right next to ours has been condemned and abandoned. The property owners were willing to sell the land for $200. That's how bad it was. My family didn't buy it because the land tax in our area is high, because we are a school of choice. Eventually, someone bought it and threw a manufactured home on it, to replace the condemned home. Soon a nice old man moved in next door, and we didn't pay too close attention because he kept to himself. That was until his daughter moved in with him. Soon our quiet little neighborhood turned into an episode of white trash in trouble. The daughter would fight with her spouse about every little thing and keep my family, along with our neighbors, up half the night. Their kids were the worst part of all. We never knew how many kids lived in that house, because so many different children and adults were in and out of there all the time. Me and my siblings tried to become friends with them, because there are not too many kids our age in the town. We ended up being more of their babysitters than just a friendly neighbor kid. They would come over to our house, and each of my siblings had a group of kids 3 to 4 each to watch over. These kids would walk in uninvited into our house, while we would play with their sibling in the yard. Then steal toys and games from our rooms. Honestly, they stole stuff from all over our house, but this was the main area. They would either take it for themselves, or throw it in our backyard river. They did that a lot, if we made them mad for taking back our stuff. They would constantly run in and out of our house, even if no one was with them. They would steal all of the fruit in the basket my mom left out for us. My mom didn't kick them out immediately, because she never wanted to deny a kid food, if they need it. My mom confronted the parents about their behavior, and their 3-year-old son called her a bitch. The parents refused to apologize for their behavior, saying stuff like, "If you loved it so much you wouldn't have let them take it," or, "Don't parent my kid." One thing they would specifically do with me is, they pulled on my hair all the time. I'm a tomboy, and they would just call me a boy in a wig because, girls can't play with skateboards. Girls can't play with ninja action figures, or any other gender stereotype. They would constantly bombard me, because they truly didn't know girls were allowed to play with anything they wanted. One of their heavier children stole my skateboard, and jumped on it, breaking it in half. Similar to that, so no head vine. Then they said I shouldn't have been playing with one anyway. There are plenty more examples, but I think you get the point. The neighbors decided that because our house was nicer, that they had permission to run an electrical line from our backyard plugs to their house. Which in itself is a bad thing, but they decided to run off our electric bill triple the cost of our original. We were lower middle class / below poverty level, so we couldn't afford that kind of bill. The rule in our house is if you're not using it is turned off. That's why my parents were awfully surprised to see an $800 electric bill. Eventually, a person from our electric company came out to our house, to see what was happening. They found an extension cord running to their house. The electrician simply unplugs it, then warned the neighbors of the legal reasons why they can't do that. Then said that should be the end of that problem. My mom politely but sternly went to the neighbors that this was not okay. The neighbor had a small adult tantrum about it and cussed my mom out, but eventually came back into her home. My mom was obviously not pleased with their behavior, but tried not to escalate the situation any further. Our neighbors tried 1 or 2 more times to run the line from our house to theirs. They would move it at night so we wouldn't see them move it. Each time when we unplugged it, they would cuss us out and send their kids over to destroy something else in our home. Eventually, Mom straight up told them if they come into on our property again, she would call the police and press charges. We could still be friends with their kids, but they weren't allowed on our land. They decided that because we won't let them use our electricity, that the next best option was to steal our dog from the backyard, and claim our dog attacked her kids. Even though our dog was harmless, and cowers at everything, due to bad owners before us. I'm guessing because, our dog liked to rip her tags off a lot, that the neighbors said she was a stray. That attacked them. The pound came and took our puppy away. By the time my brothers and I got home, she was already gone. We just assumed she ran off to our grandmother's who lived down the street. She would do this often because my grandma spoils her. When my parents came home, they about lost it, learning our dog was missing. We obviously looked for her but couldn't find her. After 2 days, we found her at the dog pound. The officer said it was obvious that our dog didn't hurt their kids, but they still had to take her in for an evaluation. My parents had to spend $200 to get her out. The pound told us why the dog was taken, and my mom had enough. Now the revenge. When my mom got home, she sent my little brother over to their house to play with their kids. He was still friends with some of them at the time. My brother became a little spy that day. His job was to look around their house, and report anything that could be suspicious. We learned from him that they were sitting 3 kids on a twin bed. The entire house was cramped and dirty. The old man that lived there was hardly home, because he couldn't stand his adult daughter that lived there, but he didn't want to evict her from the home and leave his grandkids homeless. All around the kids were being neglected. With the information my brother gathered, my mom called CPS, Child Protective Services, on the home. Within the month all of the children minus one, who the old man cared for, were removed from the home. While I agree the foster system is bad, it was definitely better than what they were going through in that house. The mother of the children started to fight with the old man, her father, on everything. Because her kids were no longer there as a distraction. The old man was to be her next victim. The old man eventually was fed up with her and kicked her out of the home. All that was left in the home was the old man and the grandson he was fostering. They are both very kind and amazing neighbors. Edit. Reading some comments here is some clarification. I'm not sure the exact time frame. This happened around 7-ish years ago, and I was still fairly young at the time, but I believe this event lasted no more than 3 to 4 weeks. We live in a really safe neighborhood. So the thought about locking the doors in the daytime wasn't on our minds. Mostly because either me or one of my siblings was constantly in and out of the house, and our parents didn't trust us not to lose the keys, and be stuck outside in the wintertime. By breaking in, I meant they would go in our house while we played in the yard. There were so many of them, we didn't notice if 1 or 2 went missing for a short while. They were still allowed at my house after them stealing, because in our kid brains, we were still friends with them. There are not a lot of younger kids in our area, so we took what we could get. We were friends with them and didn't want to lose any friendship. The kids were banned from our house after a week or so, but once in a while, they would still come in if they were hanging out with us. I asked my mom and she said she didn't call the police, because she was friends with our neighbor, the old man, and didn't want to cause any tension with him. That and the daughter was a permanent neighbor. We didn't want her to be mad at us for calling the police. I hope that clears it up a bit. Edit 2. I accidentally said the wrong thing about the dog. She was impounded, so we had to pay $200 to get her out. We had her tags. They just went on her. We didn't have to readopt her like how I remembered. I fixed up the story a little bit to make things more clear. What are your thoughts on this incredible story? Please share in the comments below. Now here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Serious Monkey 2019 reacted with, "Don't F with people's pets. This is a good one. Did we learn nothing from John Wick?" ChemSlam95 reacted with, "Honestly surprised it took that much for you to take revenge. One sighting of the extension cord and they would be done." 9James9 reacted with, "I'm sorry, but what the F? Why not just call the police early on in the kids stealing/destroying stuff, or reporting them about the extension lead? Surely there was enough to press some sort of charges. I know you were young, but my god, what the F?" CFY Dirk reacted with, "They would come to your home to steal and eat your family's food repeatedly because the revenge part was good." Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.